Hello, everybody, and welcome to CLX Foundry Live, where we go deep inside builds and we assemble them from the ground up. I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX, and joining me live from our studios in, I heard myself for a second, in Wichita, Kansas, it is our lead technical expert, Paul Steffens, and today's master builder, Zach Von Killingsworth III, Esquire.
Yes.
I got the last name right. So, gentlemen, we've got some things to talk about, which is really cool. And I noticed I'm the only one in purple today, which is fine, because it's going to get warm here. I hope it's going to get warm wherever you're at. But here's the thing that everybody wants to know. What's going on with the giveaway? Well, today, we're not building it, but we did launch it. So if you want to know more, type exclamation giveaway in the chat right now. Get up on it. We got codes coming out, and the codes today, of course, will be on our purple side. Well, we're wearing purple, get it? And so that's where you want to find it. Of course, say them out, so keep your ears open. There'll be codes throughout the day. There's the graphic for it, and let me go ahead and tell you what is in this beast. Not only is it a custom AORUS, this is a special NV white custom decoration with an Intel Core i5 14600KF, a CLX Quench 360 white cooler. We've got a Gigabyte Z790 AORUS Elite Axe Ice, something I would love to own at some point. 32 gigs of DDR5 6000 from XPG. We've got an wait, what? I'm looking at all of the giveaway stuff that you sent me in the image. You know what? It's got lots of stuff in it. We'll just say that. We'll figure this all out on Tuesday when we build it. And we got a special guest coming in on Tuesday. So you don't want to miss that one. That's going to be a lot of fun. Now, with that being said, where can you find codes and things like that? You can find them in our chats. We drop those. Well, I redrop those on Tuesdays over on the green side. That's B/, and then we do them purple here. When you see them online, you can do that at our social, that is at CLX Gaming, at YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. You can also possibly find them inside of our Discord, discord.gg/CLX Gaming. You can also find them on my streams. Right now, let's talk about what we're going to stream, and that is going to be this incredible project for our buddy Oliver in Missouri.
That's right. So Oliver has custom configured a Horus off of our website. So starting out with our processor, we've got the Intel Core i9-12900K. To cool that, we have an Intermax Liquimax 360 AIO in black. For our motherboard, we've got the Asus Prime Z690-A, really nice looking motherboard. We definitely done one of these on the show before. I like the little window on the I/O shield. For our memory, we have 2 sticks of G-Skill, 32 gigabyte DDR5, 5600 speed Trident Z5 in black.
Nice.
Does have the RGB heat spreaders as well. For our storage, we have a single 2 terabyte M.2 NVMe drive from Kingston. This is the NV2 model. And for our video card, we have an MSI 4060 Ventus 2X. For our case, we obviously have the NV5 in black today. And for our case fans, we have 8 of our Game DS AOLUS M3s. These are a little bit more subtle RGB. They do have an RGB ring around the fan. And for our power supply, we have the Game DS 850 watt Helios P2 80 plus gold non-modular.
Nice. Okay. Well, as we get started, of course, this is one of our favorites. It is a Horus. It is an NV5, and it's got some really great lighting in it. We love talking about this one because it's got that whole LED strip down on the power supply shroud, which is a lot of fun. Speaking of fun, if y'all hear something that we say that is confusing or just not quite right, which for me is half the things that come out of my mouth, make sure you ask a question. We love answering questions, whether it's about this build, your build, or something that's just going on. Alrighty. Now, this is kind of a cool case. We'll talk about some of the fun things in there in just a few, but first, we're going to talk about this motherboard. Now, this is an Asus Prime Z690. I love these. It's a great motherboard. It's got a white theme to it, so it's going to look really good. It's going to pop against the black on that case. I also like it because it's Prime, and I'm a fan of Transformers. Okay. By the way, we've got the Real Nobody. What are all the different codes? Ooh, the Real Nobody. So there's different codes that are worth different amounts of extra entries. So you'll see us drop codes in places. I do puzzles. Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. I love this one, especially if you look where the 01 is on the left side of it. It actually lights up inside. You can see down inside that heat shield, which is, I think it's a brilliant design. I think it's a beautiful design, just personally. Yep. Mike and Lucky this month. Okay, oh, there we go. That's what you're referring to. I haven't looked on that one. So thank you for that. I'll add that to my list of notes. Okay, so starting at the top, let's take a look at our rear I/O, because that's where you're going to find the ability to plug things in at the very top. Obviously, you've got your HDMI and your display port. We have got 3 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports, and then 2 Type A and 1 Type C, which is great. We've got multiple 3.2 Gen 1 ports, and then, of course, our 2.5 gig Ethernet port, 5 audio jacks, and that optical. And I'm loving the fact that the opticals are still there, because some of us still use things that plug in via optical. All right. Now, obviously, we've got to power this thing, and it's got to make it think. So let's put in our processor. And for the processor, we have an Intel Core i9-12900K. Now, this is a 12th gen processor, which is amazing. Paul, tell us about this processor and what that letter behind it means.
Yes, this is a 16-core, 24-thread processor. You've got 8 P cores that have hyper-threading and 8 efficiency cores. It has a base speed of 3.2 and a boost up to 5.5. And what that K means is it is unlocked, so you can overclock this.
Nice. Now, there's a couple different variants of processors. What are they?
So you have the K, which is unlocked. Then you've got KF, which is unlocked, which means you can overclock it, but it doesn't have onboard video. That's what the F means. And then aside from that, there's a bunch of other ones that are a little less known. There's a T, which is low voltage, a U, typically seen in laptops, and some other ones that aren't really used that much.
Nice. All right. Now we're getting that back frame on there. Little X frame. We're going to have to keep this little guy cool. And so to do that, we are going to be using an Enermax Liquimax 3. This is an ARGB 360 AIO. Obviously, you know that we've got, AIOs come in multiple different sizes. I know I have a push-pull 120 on my old PC, which was hilarious. So, Paul, we've got a 360 AIO. Obviously, it's a liquid cooler. And for those people who might not be familiar with what a liquid cooler does, let's talk about that, how that works.
Yeah, so this is to cool our processor. Now, there's typically 2 ways to cool a processor. You've got air or liquid. Air would be with the stock heat sink that comes on there with a fan that blows the heat away. These liquid coolers are a much better way to cool your processor. Allows it to run cooler while you're gaming and stay at those boost speeds.
Nice. I like it. Now we're going to get some fans on this guy, and obviously we're going to be using some great fans. These are the Game Days AORUS M3 ARGB fans black. Now the nice thing about these is these are kind of subtle. They light up, but it's not a full blade light up. It looks really great inside there. And of course, those colors are going to really help accent off the white of the motherboard, which is going to look really, really cool. Now, we do have a couple questions coming in here. We got Fitty Cat over on the green side. Hello. Cage Proto says, my PC has been having some trouble. It's black screen the other day, and I completely froze. And now it does some weird screen glitch randomly. Should I call support, or is there anything you guys could suggest?
The best thing to do would be call support. That way you can go over exactly what's going on, and they'll be able to see all that and walk you through it with us not really being able to be super hands-on and know exactly what's going through with yours. It's going to be best to call them. Could be a bunch of different things, though. Could just be something needs reseated. Typically, that fixes most issues.
Yes. Yep. Fitty Cat with a win. There we go. We got G-Code in the house. USMC Sergeant, thank you for your service, sir. Appreciate it. In Need of Temperance is here. We've got Dadzilla over on the Facebook side. We got Derek Venable. What up, Derek? How is the man who collects our machines? Love it. Good to see you, my dude. Good to see you. And then, of course, we've got Darth Jr. Hello. What's going on, man? Good to see you. What about What about photovoltaic coolers? It's air, water, and electric. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what that is.
There you go. I've never used one of those before.
Do you know what they are?
Not really sure. I know like photovoltaic makes me think of like a solar panel.
Makes me think of a volcano.
Nice.
Taking a picture of a volcano when it cools off your piece. You know what? I'm going to look it up
it's
just
like
because
one of those fish tank
reasons.
volcanoes that bubbles the water for the fishies, but
There you
it
go.
just, it cools the graphics card.
There we go. All right, so if I go to, I don't want pictures. I just want to know what it is. Oh yeah, solar coolers. That is so interesting.
Paul, you're so smart.
Photo for photons, like what the sun does.
Oh,
Blast
got it.
us
That makes
with
more
these
sense
beautiful
there.
photons. I just know photovoltaic is like what the solar panels are. I got solar panels on my house. If I didn't have those, I probably wouldn't know what it is.
Somebody called me photovoltaic. I'm going to be honest. I would try and figure out whether I was supposed to take offense to it. But no, thank you for bringing that up. That's a really cool thing. I've never heard of that. But now I'm going to deep dive into that once we're done with the show.
It's like photosynthesis, but for technology.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, now we've got all three of our fans mounted on there. Obviously, we've got our pump right there on the top, which looks good. Now, the pump is always, we've got our tubes going out the side. When it comes to positioning, why is it important to have those out the side?
So number one, it just makes the logo straight. The other way is on these coolers, you could do them in the opposite way, but we like having the tubes come out that side because of the way we're going to mount this radiator in the case.
Gotcha. Perfect. All right. Now, one thing we've got to do if we're going to have ourselves a processor, we've got to have ourselves some RAM. So we've got two 32 gig sticks of G.Skill DDR5 6000. Now, this, I believe, is the fastest RAM that we carry presently. Correct?
Yep. Yeah, very fast
awesome.
DDR5 memory here. Obviously, DDR5 is starting to become more normal and more normal as the days go by.
Gotcha. Now, one thing I would love to cover over here is if we pop over to the Facebook side. Steve Manrique says, when ordering a build, how long does it typically take for a customer to receive their order? Good question.
Yes, that'll depend on the build, but our website will give you a really good estimation. Typically, it's between 4 and 5 business days. Now, if you do order an RTS system off our website, we do have those ready to ship. That's what RTS stands for. In stocks, those will go out next day.
Mary Joy Clemente says, hello, I joined one of your past live streams talking about upgrading from my laptop to my first ever PC. I got my PC from you guys and would like to thank you guys for doing such an amazing job on it. Have been using it ever since and been having a great time with it. That I love to hear.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Thank you.
Excellent. The other thing that's good to hear is we're going to have an operating system drive. And that is going to be a 2 terabyte Kingston NVMe M.2. These are tiny little guys. They are pretty much becoming the standard, if I'm not mistaken. But it just fits right in there. Now, that looks like it's very easy because it's got a little clip. Of course, I said that and jinxed him.
No. It cut out for me like right when you said that.
Oh, I was talking about the clip and how it just makes it a kind of an easy way to pop it in there, and then I jinxed him.
Yeah, these are like little quick release levers, and you just slide them around and they go over. That way you don't have to put a screw in.
Gotcha. Fitty Cat, by the way, came up with a really great explanation for it that I'm going to read real quick. Voltaic coolers, also known as solar coolers, are a type of cooler that uses photovoltaic cells to generate electricity and power a refrigeration system. This allows the cooler to keep its contents at a consistent temperature without the need for ice or electricity. Photovoltaic cells on the cooler's lid convert sunlight into electrical energy, which is then stored in internal batteries. Oh, first of all, thank you for that.
So does
definitely
it,
needed that.
sit in a window?
I am fascinated by this now.
Yeah.
Turn your
I want a
desk light on.
solar-powered computer.
You put an RGB strip aiming at it. A UV RGB strip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just run through
Infinite
cycle.
power. Yeah.
Yep. Coming back over here. Derek, what's the battery on the motherboard for?
So
That's that's a question I don't think we've ever had on the show.
That is a good question. I'm kind of surprised we haven't had it. So this little coin battery right here, typically you see those in Game Boy games, always one on the motherboard. And what that does is supply the motherboard with power. That's how your motherboard knows what time it is. It keeps the clock going and keeps your BIOS settings and all that stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised that in the years we've been doing the show, we've never actually had that as a question.
Yeah, I kind of am too.
That's one of those things like, I'm actually shocked. We've had a lot of great questions, but that is someone that we somehow have never covered. Now, does it destroy? I mean, do you lose all of your settings if you have to replace the battery?
No, you can replace it. Those last for many, many years. I've never heard of someone actually needing to replace one of those. But you'll just have to reset your clock if you do that.
Gotcha. I love G over there. Hello.
Back in the day, you could break into someone's system by doing that, but that's not really a thing anymore.
Oh, wow.
You could put
terrifying.
You could put passwords before your system even booted up into Windows. You could have a password set. That way, if you were wanting to be super secure, you could do it that way, and that would be a way to get around that. But
gotcha.
Those were back in the good old hacker days.
Where you had locks on your side panels. You had those special keys.
Wow. Okay. And so the link that DeReal Nobody over on the purple side dropped is a great video by Electro Boom, and it's making coolers or generators with thermoelectric devices. And that definitely is an educational video. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm keeping that on another tab. I can go back and watch that because I'm super intrigued now. Although I wonder if it's kind of the same idea that they have for the moonroof based solar panels that run your car's internal cooling systems so that your car stays cool. Like if you're in
kind of what I was thinking too.
Yeah, that makes sense. Jeez, that actually sounds brilliant. I like it.
I want solar panel sales.
Solar panel sales.
So just imagine a tarpaulin of solar panel that you could use for a Huck Finn style raft, and then you're generating wind power and solar power.
There you go.
Has solar fabric ever been created? Because if a solar panel fabric would be genius. I just don't know how you would do it with cloth.
Yeah.
Well, there's definitely some that fold out.
Yeah, because that's how they do the panels for all of the space.
Ooh, we got a good question coming in from Violent Echo
and stuff. I think they just
fan
out. Yeah.
That's a brilliant idea. Violent Echo says, question for you guys. I'm going to buy a bunch of parts, but how do you know if your components are too big for the case you got?
Oh, that's a good question. So what you want to look at there is called a form factor. So you start with your motherboard in your case. So if you find a case you like, it's going to have a form factor, and that's either going to be ATX, MATX, or ITX. And you might see an EATX or something like that. And that TX nomenclature is the form factor. And so your motherboard's going to have that as well. So if you get an ATX motherboard, you want to have an ATX chassis. That being said, this is an ATX chassis since it's a full size. So since it is a full size, it can fit ATX and everything that's under it as well. So we could put an MATX or an ITX motherboard in here. Not something that I would recommend doing, but you could.
And then you can also look up case manuals, and some manufacturers will all have diagrams of how big of a cooler you can have and how big of a graphics card you can have. So those are very good, just because graphics cards are kind of crazy with case sizes right now. So
yeah, once you get into the smaller chassis, that's when that's something you really need to look at if you've got a high-end video card.
And of course, anti-sag brackets being what they are. getting all the help with those. Uh-oh. Ivory knows a code. Oh, Lord, here it goes.
No way.
Who could get a code right now?
Starting.
Somebody. It's starting. All right. Now, one of the cool things about this case, as you can see from the back end, like we've got a great shot right here, is that it's angled, which gives it a little more opportunity for bringing fresh air in from the back, right up inside. But one thing I wanted to point out was that hole. We can drop back to the shot. If you can point over to that, Paul, the angled hole, that is for our PSU, our power supply unit. It's going to fit underneath that shroud that you can see right there on that side shot. So, Paul, from a case standpoint, what is the importance of separating your PSU, with walling like that for your system's build? How is that efficient?
Yes, there's a couple reasons for that. On a practical side, our power supply is obviously going to be here, and it's covered up by this shroud. So any heat that power supply generates is not going to get into the main body of the case. Power supplies don't generate a ton of heat, but anything that's on is going to have something to it. So the power supply is going to get its fresh air in from down the bottom and spit it out that hole that you're looking at there. And then for more of a aesthetic side of things, it just makes the system look cleaner. You don't see the cables that are coming straight out of your power supply. It gives it just a clean look, and we'll only see the cables coming through the grommets here where we plug them in on the motherboard side.
And Max and Chu, I'm so sorry I missed your initial question up top. That's on me. Max imagine asks, for a water-cooled PC, wouldn't it be scary if water got out and wrecked your PC, or is it completely impossible for that to happen, and it just means you have to build it correctly?
It would be scary if this thing started leaking coolant and spraying it all over the place, but that really doesn't happen that often. I mean, I've been doing this for many, many years, and I maybe have seen like 2 or 3 of these AIO leak out of the box. Typically, it's not going to like spray out. If it does that, it's just going to be a small drip. We have had some open loop systems that we've built where a fitting is loose and it gets all over the motherboard, and typically you can turn them off, clean it off, and then you can test everything out. So those fluids typically are not conductive, but you know, it's not good to see when it happens.
All right, and of course we've got our first code. It's BMIC, BMIC, JKJK, and guess what? We're not joking. That's actually the code. Put that in right away. And you're looking for different options because you're trying to upgrade from a laptop to a PC. Nice. Definitely. We got a code, everybody. Lots of codes. Let me see here. Going back over to the TikToks. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. The Beard of Knowledge, Mason Bowler. Good to see you guys. What state are you guys doing this at? So I'm in Oregon, and they are in Kansas. That is where they are. Sound isolation heat, yes. And Beard of Knowledge, absolutely correct. Now, one thing to point out about this is what we consider like our in-house naming of it is a 3/4 build, because the motherboard doesn't actually sit on the back of the case like a lot of standard cases do. And we're seeing this a lot more lately from different case designers. Paul, how does that affect the efficiency of the case, and why is it important?
Yeah, so what that does is you can see from this side that Zach's working on here, he's got some room in that back part of the chassis where he's managing those cables, and that gives us plenty of room to get those tied down and bundled up nicely. That way our back panel doesn't have any issues going on. It also lets us put drives back there. So we have this door that comes with the case, and you guys might have seen us take this off at the very beginning. This goes in the back, and we'll show once we put this on, but this is room for extra drives. You can see these holes that are cut out of it. This is room for 2.5-inch and 3.5-inch drives if you wanted to add those to your build.
Nice. All right. Now, one cool thing that you can see right here as we're looking at Zach getting everything started is the fact that the Horus NV5, which is a great case, has brought on board, they use Velcro straps for helping with the cable management. Zach, how does that help you when it comes to cable management?
Yes, it helps to kind of just guide everything and line it up a lot better. It's a lot cleaner of a look from both sides, the inside of the build and the back side of the build. If I can have cables going directly to where I need them rather than a general area.
Nice.
It's all about looking
McG,
pretty, right?
by the way, what up, McG? You made it over. McG is one of our zombie slayers. He actually made me a custom intro for Dying Light 2. It was really cool. McG asks, I've seen some awesome giveaway PCs, but is it also possible to buy a custom case like one of the giveaway PCs? Paul.
Yes, if you get a build through us, we can do a ton of different customization on the case. If there's one that you saw in a past giveaway, our last year Halloween one was very popular. If that's something you wanted, that is something we can add to your build. Or if you have a custom design of your own, you can work with us and we can get that printed on your case as well.
Which will be really cool. So once again, that code is BMIC. That is Bravo, Michael, Indigo, Charlie, Dash, JK. Like joking. Jammer Kilo, Jammer Kilo. So there we are. Yeah, refresh your pages. There you go. But can also be just can you buy just a case only?
That's typically not something we do, but if you want to reach out to support, they could give you a more solid answer on that.
Here we go. Yeah, that Halloween one was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Still goes down as my favorite case I think we've ever made. Okay. So now we're getting all the elements on the back. Now, one of the things that's always great about this case, as he's working on that, is it also comes with some cool features. Paul, what other ports are available on this case?
So on the top of this case, we have two USB 3.0s and a Type-C. It's also where your power button, reset button, and any fan controller buttons are as well.
Nice. There we go.
There, you can see them right there.
So part of the ventilation, there you go, yeah. I like it. Now, part of that ventilation is also going to be our fans. We've got 3 going on the back that are going to be pulling air in. We've obviously got the 3 that are attached to the top radiator. It's going to be blowing air out. And then we've got 1 on the floor next to the PSU shroud and 1 on the back. And that's a total of 8 fans. It's kind of like 4 in, 4 out. So when it comes to air pressure in there, and this is going to be pretty nominally even. But Paul, how does that work?
Yeah, so when we're talking about pressure inside of your system, we're looking at air coming in and air going out. So like you said, DJ, we've got 4 fans coming in. Our intake fans are the ones Zach's installing right now. There's 4 right here. And then we'll have 4 exhausts. So 1 out the back right here and 3 up top. So since we have 3 exhaust fans up top on a radiator, that does restrict airflow a little bit as if there wasn't a radiator. So we're going to be a slightly positive pressure system since there's going to be a little bit more air coming in than going out, which is what we want to go for. If we had more air leaving the system than coming in, that creates a vacuum inside your system, and that'll cause dust, pet hair, all that stuff to get sucked in through all the little cracks and crevices in your build that doesn't go through that filter. So that's why we don't want that.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, yeah, again, I would definitely contact customer service, but yeah, that is I don't have an answer. Okay. So I do want to cover, since we're just talking about it, we got a moment to do so. You can see the feet and the front got about, I don't know, what is that, half an inch?
Yeah, maybe an inch or so, at least an inch here. Probably goes up to maybe 2.5 on the back.
So that brings me to another point when it comes to where you want to place this case. Where do you want to sit your PC ideally, or where should you avoid placing your PC?
Yeah, so typically you want them on a hard surface because you want to maintain this gap as much as possible. Obviously our main intake is in the back of the case, so that's good, but we still have an intake fan down here and our power supply still breeze down here. So we want as little as obstructions as we can. So you want to avoid setting this on any like shag carpeting, if any of you old schoolers got any of that in your house right now. Any type of wood or hardwood floor or tile, something like that is a good place to have it. Or you can have it on your desk if you've got room there.
Yep. Yeah, there's lots of things that don't conduct electricity. Tiles, you name it. All good stuff. Easy peasy. All right, now we've got our exhaust fan going on the back. Now, one of the cool things is in our raw version, which is slightly bigger version, it is the NV7. There's actually 2 exhaust fans on the back, which is really cool.
Yeah,
and honestly, that's the only one I've ever seen like that.
Yeah, same. That's the first case that I've ever seen have 2 exhaust fans back there.
Mr. Alcott and Dorothy Jr. Open the far side. I love it. Cosworth Arts mentions, I'm going to be renewing my PS4's thermal paste when I build my new PC. I normally use Arctic Cooling MX4, but is there a better, more efficient paste? Excellent question.
Yeah, so that is good thermal paste. We like to use Arctic Silver on most builds here, and then if you're wanting to go very high-end, Thermal Grizzly makes a great thermal paste that we like to use on like really high-end builds.
Yes. Alrighty. Now we're going to take a look at our power supply unit. This is what gives the whole thing its power. This is an 850 watt. Game Day is Helios P2. It is an 80 plus gold. Now you mentioned that this is a non-modular. So show us what that looks like, and then let's talk about the other 2 types of power supplies that you can get.
Yeah, so non-modular, pulling this out of the box, you can see the cables are right there on the side of the power supply. They are soldered in. That's what non-modular means. So once we get this out of the bubble wrap, I can give you a little bit better view of it. The other types of power supplies will be a modular or a semi-modular. And so with a modular, we would actually have ports on the back of our power supply here, and these cables would be in a separate side bag, and you plug in the ones you need, and then you've got extras if you upgrade later. With semi-modular, you're going to have a chunk of cables that are soldered in like this, but it's only going to be a few of them, typically a motherboard 24-pin, CPU 8-pin, and then a video card 6+2, and then the rest will have ports to plug in everything else.
Bello, I'm going to be honest. At the moment, it's not possible. The question is, how is it possible to order one of the hoodies without getting a computer? My fiance wants one for her wedding present. Paul, I'll let you jump on that one.
Yeah, so right now I don't believe that is an option, but once again, I'll give you the same answer as the case. If you reach out to support, they might be able to hook you up.
The Real Nobody, do you guys have a set list of music you guys use? I want it. That is a Jason thing. Jason, who is our executive producer, I guess you'd say. Our producer, period. So he gets it from Epidemic Sound, and it's a licensed element. So Epidemic Sound, once again, and you can get a license for it. Thank you, sir. Okay. Now, all of those cables aren't going to be used, correct?
Correct. So typically with non-modular power supplies, you're never going to use all the cables that comes with it. It just comes with a whole bunch of options. So if you fill up your PC to the max of every possible thing, you're ready. So what I like to do with non-modulars is get them out of the box, kind of get this box far away from you. That way you can work with these cables. So sometimes they'll come out of the box all tangled up and mixed around. So I like to get those straightened out. That way when we install this, it's a lot easier to run the cables through, and then Zach doesn't have to get this thing in and then worry about unbundling some of these cables. So with the cables that we're not going to use, we are going to bundle these up, and in this case there's a nice area in front of the power supply shroud where these can go and they won't be seen.
Alrighty. Which would be good, because that's part of the reason why we have that space down there.
Yeah.
Definitely. McGee has a great question. Can you tell me what is the best non-bottleneck Intel CPU for a 4090 GPU?
Okay, so if you got a 4090 GPU, you're at the high end there. So you're going to want to go with the highest end processor you can. So I'd go with like an i9-14900K is what I would pair well with that. You could probably get away with doing like a high-end i7 as well, but if you've got a 4090, you can probably get the i9.
Nice. Okay. I know James Alcott mentioned that I have my PC sitting on a shelf I found at Home Depot.
There you go.
I'll be honest, I used to use a cutting board until my housemate went, "Where are all the cutting boards?" Didn't think we used them. I'll put them back. But yeah, shelves. That's a brilliant idea. Just
I don't know if anybody knows
buy a couple particle board shelves.
I don't know if anybody knows who Darth Microtransaction is. I was like watching when he was playing a lot of Diablo and Path, and he once used a giant storage Tupperware bin lid. It's like that's innovative. I don't think it looks that nice, but it works.
It's just sitting in a tub.
Yeah.
Sitting in a tub lid.
Yep.
McGee says, I have an i9, but still it's 9th gen. And is that bad, or does it really make a difference to upgrade to the 14th gen?
So it's not bad. Those are very high end. 9th gen is getting a little old, but it's still, I mean, that's still going to perform great in gaming. What I would say is if you're not noticing a difference in gaming, if you're not noticing any frame rate drops, if you do any other types of tasks and you're not noticing a performance decrease there, I'd leave it how it is and save your money. That being said, once you start seeing a decrease in any way, that's when I would upgrade, and whatever, even if that's a couple years down the road, that's when I would go to the highest in there.
Real quick, St. George the Great is here, our winner for last month's PC giveaway bundle. Absolutely still impressed. Congratulations, my friend. And he said that's what the shipping box is for. Build it on the box. Keep it in the box. Keep it on the box.
Yeah.
Honestly, right here. That is what's right behind me is this big sarcophagus, which comes with our RAWs. You can also choose to get yours shipped out in it. Yes. Absolutely agree. By the way, jumping back over to Jonathan Maxwell on the Facebook side of things, says just got the 4070 and it's and the R9. Hope it's a good rig. Oh yeah. Ryzen 9 and a 4070. Good grief.
Yeah.
That's going to help out. That's going to do some great stuff. Do you guys do monitor giveaways? Asked to Real Nobody. I think it would be cheaper than PCs. Paul?
I think they've been included sometimes, but we like giving away these PCs. This is what we do. So we like to show off a lot of our really good work, and you can see all of our custom designs. We really like doing that. So
we have a ton of custom designs too. And then, of course, if you have a design of your own, you can also submit that, because that's what they did to mine. It looks incredible. I dig it. I will say, if I'm like I was downloading Black Ops, was it Black Ops 4, I think, was zombies, and it was downloading 123 gigs of stuff, so I turned off the studio and left it on, and just the way that it colored the studio was awesome. It did exactly what we thought it would do, and it just lit everything in the room up. Do they come with capture cards? We have capture cards. We do carry capture cards on the website for sure. Be very impressive if they built a monitor on stream.
that would be pretty impressive. Have to get our soldering irons out. Heck yeah.
Oh God, soldering irons scare the daylights out of me. Oh, have I ever told this story before? I'm gonna tell you guys a quick story. This is gonna be interesting. So back in the days when I was a child, which was long ago, there was a show called A's Enough, and this show had an episode where the son leaves a soldering iron plugged in and on, and then tosses a rag in the room, and it catches fire, right? And the whole side of the house burns down, and you know, they lost their gerbil and things. And I was terrified. My dad at the time, my biological father at the time, was a biomedical engineer, so he's always working on medical equipment out in the garage, and so he's got soldering irons. And so every week before, like, I would wake up in the middle of the night, go and collect his soldering irons and hide them in the trash.
Oh no!
Because I was afraid he was going to burn the house down. Yeah, he was not happy at all with me.
He was like, "You're going to burn the house down."
It was just the manic search for where's my soldering iron?
Yeah.
I didn't have the heart to tell him until he actually caught me one morning.
You want those?
He's like, "What are you doing?" "I don't want you to burn the house down, Dad." Yeah.
And you're like, "I just turned those things off. They're going to catch that bag of trash on fire."
Right? Yeah. Jason mentioned that, yeah, I definitely dated myself with the 8 is enough reference. And everybody else is like, never heard of it, sir. Never going to. But what we have heard of is this new MSI 4060. This is a tooth fan. This is a cute little one. So let's talk about this one.
Yes, this is our MSI 4060. This is the Ventus 2X Black Edition. Now, this is a really good card here. This is what I always recommend people to go with if you're just starting out into gaming and you don't know what to go for. 4060 is a great option. It's a good mid-level card that's going to play everything really well at 1080, and then some games at even higher resolutions than that. So we'll get this plastic off and show you all a little bit more what this looks like.
Nice. And Steve Manrique says, I still like your custom towers in blue. It's my favorite color. Popping back, which is awesome. I love that as well. Popping back over to the purple side, we've got, Michael R 12 says, why does the fan hub look attached to the back of the motherboard? Well, Zag?
Yes. So I use double-sided sticky tape to stick it onto the back plate of the retention kit, and by doing that it holds it in place, and it allows for a nice layout of all of the fans. We can do that because our hub is enshrouded in plastic, so there's no connectivity for our hub being on the backside of our motherboard. That's a solo.
Single 8-pin, yep.
All right, now Big Chungus, of course, asked, and by the way, welcome to the show, first time commenter, says, as someone who's never had a PC, would it be better to buy a built one, like a pre-built, or buy parts and make one?
That's a good question. So it's really up to you. The biggest thing to look at are the components that are going to be inside of there and making sure that that's going to fit your needs. So figure out what games you're playing mostly, and you can kind of use those to spec it out. And if you want to, buy one that's pre-built, you can definitely do that. But if you are wanting to get into the DIY world, you can definitely do that as well. We always, we don't discourage anybody from doing that. We all had to start somewhere at some point, and it is kind of fun once you get into the world of it and put it all together and wait and press the power button for the magical moment of it either turning on or not.
Yeah. And I'll just to add my 2 cents when it comes to building your own, there is a significant sense of satisfaction when it comes to building your own. The balance for that is you don't end up with a warranty. It is all on you at that point.
That is true.
Whereas, if you purchase a system from a company, then it comes with a warranty. I know ours comes with lifetime technical support and labor. Plus, you've got a year on warranty. You can buy up to a 3-year warranty for our PCs, which is awesome. Absolutely love it. So, and you can always call into technical support. So, I think that would have been that's the direction I would put.
Yeah, that's where we add value, is in that warranty, lifetime tech support, and you're just going to get a very nice professionally built system. I mean, you can see the tie-up that Zach's done here. I guarantee people that haven't built computers very often, their tie-up won't even come close to that. So,
and One Gaming Creed said, is it cheaper to build same question. Yeah, and we have both, by the way. There is a code. It is lucky, LCKY-WNNE, almost like Winnie. It is L, that is Lima, Charlie, Kilo, Yellow. Kentucky Yellow. Jeez, get it together, DJ. And WNNE, Whiskey, Nevada Echo.
Like my grandpa. Yellow.
Yellow. What are you doing? Beebs is in the house. Hi. Darth Jr. mentioned he got into soldering because of your game analog sticks always going bad. That I didn't even think about, and that's a brilliant reason to get to know it. It does not take long it didn't take long often for my sticks to start drifting, especially because I use the stick press, for my melee and my sprint. So I'm always popping that, and definitely went south. Then I went to keyboard and mouse, and I don't have that problem anymore. Let's see here. Oracle. Uh-oh. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Halloween.
Now we're popping that. Yeah, that one was so cool. Literally, the best thing I've ever seen.
I've been seeing a bunch of the
celestial floras. I was just seeing one on the way up here.
So pretty.
Yeah, they look really good. Pretty. I think that was our last. Was it last month or the month before? These things fly by so fast. It might have been last month where we did the celestial flora giveaway on the NV.
Yeah, that was April.
March, yeah.
March.
Oh yeah, and it wasn't the one that
we're
we
in
just
May now.
did. Yeah, it was the one before that.
Yeah. Gotcha. We actually have a shot of it. So let's take a look at that real quick. Yeah, that was our giveaway 2 months ago. Gorgeous too. And I love the way the lights lit up in the back. Just lit the flowers up.
Cole says it was February. We're all in a time machine.
Was it February? She's like, Cole's like, can you guys get it together for 5 seconds?
I'm still like, we only been doing this show for a few months. It's been 2 years.
Good grief. We promise we're professionals. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Oh my gosh. Yep. Oh, speaking of fun, can I tell you what I found out is, I'm just going to say this on stream because I'm not embarrassed by it. What's now streaming on Amazon Prime is Battlestar Galactica.
They did a ghost launch drop of it, yeah.
And In Need of Temperance came in, and there's the full version there's a video game, Battlestar Galactica, and there is a full version. It was like $112, and In Need of Temperance is like, nope, you're getting this, you're playing it.
Nice.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm excited. Yeah. Anybody who's not seen the 2004 version, it's amazing. Oh my God, it's 20 years old.
Today was the day DJ realized.
Oh my dear God, that means that the original is
we are in
40 years old.
We're there.
I was 8 when the original one came out. Now I'm just going to go in a corner and cry. All right, so I'm guessing that is the game for today. I don't know, ask Scott. We'll figure it out. Well, it's not Dying Light, so probably not. I've been playing. Listen, I love me some zombies and Dying Light, but yeah, we've been taking a little break. We've been doing some things. We've been having fun. Ooh. By the way, Jeremy Beltran, thank you so much. Says you guys do great work. Can't wait to get my Horus build tomorrow. We're excited. Don't forget, when you get it, once you get it all set up and things, take a picture of it and put it in our Discord. We've got a whole thread just for seeing your setups, especially when you get your PCs. Geek to Sneak, howdy. What's going on? James Olcott has a suggestion for a PC build. He says tie-dye.
Tie-dye's always cool.
I'm thinking Kyle could do some wild stuff with that. Michael Taylor on the Facebook side says, I have your raw rig. I love me some raws. That's what I have. How do you like it?
That's great.
Yeah. What kind of a raw rig is it? I'm excited. This will be fun.
An elite.
Yep. Oh, geez.
The big boy.
Yeah, that is one thing we have never built on the show as an elite. Those things are huge. Now, one thing to point out, this case does come, one of the things I love about it, this case comes with all the bells and whistles. It also comes with an anti-sag bracket. But it does not, I don't think that would even be needed.
Yeah, with this card, we won't be using it. This card doesn't need one, and it's also too short to have that anti-sag bracket be effective. So,
let's see here. Fun fact that was
include it in case you ever upgrade later and need it.
Oh my gosh. Phantom Menace came out 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And has anybody watched it recently?
Ivory.
And I have to agree with Ivory. It did not
hold up well.
They might just want to go back through and do some touch-ups on that.
Y'all disrespecting Jar Jar.
Oh dear Lord.
This? I was looking for it.
What are we looking for?
A cable.
Ivory, I agree. All disrespect to Jar Jar.
I've never seen that cable before.
I had to stop playing.
Like, did they start being Setas? But okay.
What was the video game? What was the Star Wars video game that had Jar Jar in it? All I know is that
the pod racer on N64
so annoying.
I had
and
the
it was
pod
super
racer
cheap
for the Game Boy Color.
Oh yeah,
the Color.
The Color. There was also one for the TI-86 or whatever, the calculator that we all had to have for our math classes. Yeah.
All right, and of course, Ivory just dropped a code CRBN. It's carbon with no vowels, and that is NISL 9 Indigo Sierra Lima. That is a code just for Jar Jar haters. If you like Jar Jar Binks, then you can't use it.
Oh man!
And also, we're confused about your cognitive capabilities.
Jar Jar is the pillar that holds
the
Star Wars universe together.
Just can't believe that Jar Jar lived through all of the. Yeah. Yeah, right? The Gun Guns ended up in the Senate. And I was just like, oh, Lord. Right? I thought that was so hilarious.
Okay, what's going on?
You saw Star Wars 4, 5, and 6 in the theater when they came out. Now I'm old. Oh, wow. Wow. And so anybody that is Star Wars A New Hope, the Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, the 3 initial films that set everything. I got to see Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi in the theater. I was a child and only remember parts of both from the theater.
Is that when Jabba was a human? Was he a human in those? Because isn't there one that was like before he was just a big dude in like a bear skin or something?
No, they did. Would they use something similar to that for one of the remakes? One of the remade scenes, but there was a guy standing in his place.
Oh, I see. We had those. We had like the box set on VHS.
Yeah, I definitely burned through multiple copies of the Star Wars films, Goonies, Legend. Yeah, back when VHS was a thing, and you almost cried anytime that it got jammed. We all remember that.
You had like the little race car rewinders. Do you remember those?
Yeah, I liked having VHS because then, like, if there was a scene you wanted to rewatch, you could just rewind a little bit. Like, how do you do that with a disc? It's not fun.
Yeah, I will be honest. I'll be honest. There was a point at which some of us figured out how to unscrew and take apart the VHS tapes so we could repair the ribbon.
Oh, wow.
And then carefully put it back together.
Roll it back up.
And I was like, here we go. We do have a great question over here. Jack Pearson, hi, how are you? Says, what's the story with the Intel i9 CPUs? Lots of stories about them locking up lately.
That's news to me. The i9s are really solid, so maybe there might have been an issue on something new right when it came out, but I haven't really heard of that. So
I have an i9 13900KF, and that it works gloriously. Yes. And I've put it through its paces. Let's be fair.
I'm gonna put this door on that we talked about a little bit earlier. If y'all want to see that.
And to answer that question, yes, after Return of the Jedi, I saw every single one of them in theaters. Asking about support, which one should I use? Customer, sales, or corporate?
Customer.
There we go. Hey, DJ, tell us about the CLX website. Well, you know what? That sounds like a genius idea. Why don't we do that? At clxgaming.com, it's not only just a place to go to the site for your giveaways, it's also a great place to just go and build a PC, okay? Now, here's how this is going to work, and this is really fun. You can choose any size of build-up, whether you want something small in an ITX case or something as big as one of our RAWs. You get to choose the processor, the graphics card, everything that goes into it. So we carry AMD, Intel, Radeon, NVIDIA. It's all right here. And you don't have to worry about choosing pieces that may not work together. And you get to see what you're actually using to build into it, which is awesome. So in the event that you end up choosing two things that don't necessarily work together, our system will say, hey, hold on, That's not quite right. So, for example, if we have a motherboard that's a beautiful motherboard, you like the way it's the colors, but it's DDR4, and then you chose DDR5 RAM, it's going to be like, okay, you can use this motherboard, but you need to choose one of these RAMs, or if you're going to be sticking with this RAM, use one of these boards. Once you fixed it, you go back to it, it goes back to green, little button up there, and there we go. Now, there's a lot of options in here for varying different elements, including overclocking, where you can ask us to overclock, or your CPU, your GPU, or both. We can get you upgraded thermal paste, which is always a great idea. Then, of course, you can choose some of your add-ons, whether you want a liquid-cooled, open loop, closed loop. We also have all sorts of different extras. You want extra hard drives? Perfect. Easy. And then we come over to our accessories area, which, as you can see, is where you can find the hoodies. But also, you can find pretty much everything else that you might need, and that is going to be your capture cards, your Beacon Mix Creates and Beacon mics, which are also included in the giveaway. We'll get to that in a second. And then monitors, headphones, controllers, mice, speakers, chairs, routers, anything and everything you could possibly think of that you could need to make your gaming setup or your office setup or whatever you're choosing to use it for absolutely stellar. We can do it right here. Now, that does sound like a big task, and some people might feel like that's a little bit too much too soon. Don't worry. We have our RTS, which stands for ready to ship, and these are coming four different levels. There we go. Entry level, mid-range, high performance, and ultra high performance. It also gives you kind of an idea of what you might want to be looking at as a baseline for building your own PC. Like, all right, this is a high range, this is what it can do, so let me start here and then kind of adjust it as needed. So all of this, of course, then there's the ultra high performance down there. All of this, of course, is available at our website. So for all of your future gaming needs and PC requirements, head on over to clxgaming.com and see what we can do for you. Alrighty. Oh yeah. By the way, Zach is going to be building a Sphinx today. Mm-hmm. Zach, what is a Sphinx?
So a Sphinx is a pretty small little case. It's one of our set builds, and I'm really excited to build it because it is a Wichita local.
Nice.
So excited to build a computer that's going to stay here in city.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, and that's also the one that we were carrying at Level Up, the Level Up Expo that we had for the. That's awesome. That's gonna be fun. Now McG has a great question before we complete all of this. First of all, HCLX8SSK. That is a code that was just dropped. But McG asks, what's the best choice for a CPU? Is it F, KF, K, or KS?
All right, so that's going to depend on what you're wanting to do with it. Now, just to give you kind of a general answer, KF is what I would go with if you're gaming, because it's going to be solid performing and you'll save a few bucks. The F just means you don't have onboard video. You got a video card, so you don't need it. So that's what I would go with.
There we go. All right. Now, the one thing to cover before we do this, once we turn this on, we see the power is cool. Where is this PC going to go?
All right, so once this is powered on and built, it's going to go to our testing and integration department. And so the first thing we do there is get into the BIOS of the machine. We'll make sure all of our RAM speeds set correctly, all of our storage devices are showing up, and sometimes mess around with some other settings in there. Then after our BIOS is set is when we load the machine. So that's where we load the operating system. If you picked any games on our website, that's where we would load those. If you didn't pick anything, you just get a fresh install of your operating system. We do not put any bloatware on these machines. That's something we pride ourselves on. You just get a fresh install of Windows and nothing else. After we've done the load, we will stress test the system or burn it in for 12 hours, and that makes sure that everything's stable inside of here. Sometimes a component will allow the system to turn on, get video, everything seems like it's fine, but once you start gaming, it starts to cause issues. And so that's where we can catch that and replace the component that's bad and give you a stable system.
Yep. So, all right, with that said, let's see what we did over here for our friend Oliver in Missouri.
Ooh, I like that.
Nice. That is so subtle. That's honestly, it's a really great look. I dig it.
Good cooler.
That looks fantastic. Oh my gosh. I dig it. I dig it. Andy, that LED line right up there at the top. Absolutely great. Let's go over one more time what is in this incredible build for Oliver in Missouri. This is a Horus NV5 mid-tower in black. It's got an Intel iCore i9 12900K processor mounted on an ASRock Z690 steel-edged motherboard. There are 64 gigs of DDR5 6000 RAM, and of course we've got that GeForce RTX 4060 graphics card. The operating system is loaded on a 2 terabyte Kingston NVMe M.2, and of course our CPU is going to be cooled by that Enermax Liquimax 3 ARGB cooler, along with 8 GameDS AORUS fans, and of course it's all powered by an 850 watt GameDS Helios P2 80 Plus Gold PSU. Now, with that being said, since I fumbled it earlier, we're going to go over, once again, all the parts in the current giveaway. Let's pop that picture right back up there so we can show them. This is what you're going to get if you manage to win this, and we're going to be building this on Tuesday, so you don't want to miss it. This, of course, is an NV5 in white. It's a custom AORUS build. This has an Intel Core i5 14600KF processor with a CLX Quench 360 in white, and that's great because it's really going to shine in there. On a Gigabyte Z790 AORUS Elite X Ice motherboard, it's going to have 32 gigs of XPG Lancer RGB DDR5 6000 RAM plus a GeForce RTX 4060 Aero OC. We're going to talk about that on Tuesday for sure. A 1 terabyte AData Legend 700 Gold M.2, and of course our GameDS AOLUS M2 ARGB fans and an 850 watt MSI Gold in white. And for you content creators out there, we're also going to be including from our friends over at Beacon, a Beacon Mix Create and a Beacon mic in white. So lots of different things for you to win, so definitely pay attention. As always, our show is on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 a.m. Good Lord, 11 p.m. Can somebody just punch me in the face? 11 a.m. That's 2 p.m. Eastern. Good grief. I don't know what happened today. You can find codes on our green side, that is kick.com/CLXgaming on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, right over here at twitch.tv/CLXgaming. You can also find codes and keep up to everything that's going on with CLX on our socials. That's YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at CLX Gaming. You also might find them in our Discord, which you'll also find a bunch of other like-minded PC enthusiasts, and that's at discord.gg/CLXgaming. The one other place you can find it is on my streams, and I'll actually have one today, which will be a lot of fun. Now, as usual, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, you're going to spend the afternoon with Zach as he builds even more PCs and answers all of your questions. So, with that being said, on behalf of Kyle and Jason in production, Paul and Zach of DJ Blue PDX, don't go away. We've got more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
Bye.
See you guys.